I'm sorry, Android folks, but you've gotta admit that the iPhone 15 Pro Max destroys Android. Now, yes, not everything is better, but as an overall package, this is the better phone. And in this video, I'm gonna give you guys 15 reasons why the 15 Pro Max destroys anything that Android has to offer. Getting into reason number one, we have the brand new USB-C port, which of course you're gonna say Android has had for literally years on end, but the iPhone 15 Pro Max actually does it better. This USB-C port supports transfer speeds of up to 10 gigabits per second, while even the best Android flagships, like I would say arguably the S23 Ultra is the best on the Android side, that only supports up to 5 gigabits per second transfer speeds. Now in the real world, people have done real transfer tests and they found that the iPhone is actually 3 times faster than the comparable S23 Ultra in a real test. So Apple did wait so many years before implementing USB-C, thanks to the EU, but when they finally did it, they did it better than everybody else. Now getting into reason number two, we have the main camera, which of course the sensor has not changed from the previous 14 Pro Max, but what Apple did across the board for the iPhone 15 lineup is that they've defaulted the photo output to 24 megapixels, double the resolution compared to how it's been for many years and what you get on any other Android phone. So clearly, when you take a closer look at regular 1x camera photos, Apple's iPhone 15 Pro Max is on top. And yes, it even works automatically for portrait photos and live photos because of Apple's killer optimization and the new chip. For reason number three, we have the speakers being the best out of any smartphone ever, beating a lot of actual laptops and tablets. These speakers are absolutely insane. Just listen to how they compare to the S23 Ultra. Now for number four, we have the bezels, and these are the thinnest uniform bezels on any smartphone ever. These look absolutely insane, better than the S23 Ultra, and we actually have rumors of the S24 Ultra having uniform bezels, but they're actually slightly bigger than they were before on the sides of the S23 Ultra. So these are definitely the best. For number five, let's get into that new 5X tetraprism lens. And the really unique thing about this is that Apple's actually allowing 5X portrait shots, which look absolutely incredible, almost looking like real DSLRs because of that focal length and all the compression in the back. It looks absolutely insane, while Samsung can only do it with the 3X lens. You can't do portraits with the S23 Ultra's 10X lens, which is one of the reasons why they're actually getting rid of the 10X and going back to 5X, following in Apple's footsteps. And yes, the Pixel 7 Pro also cannot do portraits in 3 or 5X. It actually crops from the 1X lens, so those portraits look terrible. Now on to number six, we have Magsafe, which has been in the iPhone since iPhone 12, and now there are so many different accessories that you can plop right on the back of the naked iPhone. So many chargers, 15-watt car mounts with cooling like the one from ESR. My favorite Magsafe wallet from Moft, which I love, right on the back of the iPhone. Now yes, Androids are getting Qi 2, which is literally Apple's Magsafe built into Androids, but we haven't seen any of those yet. And for now, Android phones are literally just using Magsafe cases to support all these accessories because this feature is so good. And speaking of the massive ecosystem of Magsafe accessories for the iPhone, we have the new Ring Lax case from our sponsor, JSOX. It comes with a really nice design in either black, blue, beige, or pink colors, but the standout feature is the ring that comes with the most flexibility I have ever seen, being able to rotate around 360 degrees, which means it's fully Magsafe charging compatible, unlike other ring cases. But the ring is also on a hinge, so you can easily twist and use it as a stand in both orientations. Even better, the ring itself has a hinge, so you can comfortably use it as a finger grip so you don't drop your phone, or if your hands are full and you can hang it off of one finger like this, or even hang it off of a hook or a lanyard. They also have a bunch of new USB-C accessories for the iPhone 15, like their long braided cable, USB-A and headphone jack adapters, USB-C hub, and data blockers, and you can order these, including the Ring Lax case, by using the links in the description below. And now let's get back to the 7th reason why the iPhone 15 Pro Max destroys Android. One of them is the new A17 Pro chip with the CPU performance that is way ahead of any Android smartphone, and even the new leaks that are showing up for the upcoming Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, that is still not coming anywhere close to the performance of the A17 Pro. We also just had leaks for the new Google Tensor G3 chip. That thing is insanely slow, still so far behind the A17 Pro, and that's even with this thing having some efficiency issues where we should have expected more performance, but it's still so far ahead, especially if you look at Speedometer 2.1 web browsing performance. It is just killing Android. Now for reason number 8, yes, the GPU performance is not better. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 beats out the A17 Pro, which shows that Apple's struggling a little bit with the GPU raw performance. But however, they added Metal FX upscaling, and games are actually already supporting it, unlike the Android games and apps that still have yet to support it properly. This actually makes the quality look better on the iPhone than on Android. Just so far ahead. Even with low settings with Metal FX, it clearly looks better at higher FPS as well. And this basically allows the 15 Pro to play AAA games like the upcoming 4 games that Apple announced, like Assassin's Creed, Resident Evil Village, and Death Stranding, while Android phones simply can't play AAA game ports. For number 9, we have the excellent low light performance on the 5X lens, and that's because Apple's using a unique tetraprism design compared to a traditional periscope, which actually limits the size of the sensor. So this thing has a big sensor and very fast f2.8 aperture, which lets in a ton of light. For example, the S23 Ultra's 10X lens has an f4.9 aperture, which is pretty dark in terms of the amount of light coming into the sensor. And on top of that, it has incredible 3D stabilization with over 10,000 micro adjustments per second. So just look at this video comparison of the 15 Pro Max's 5X camera compared to the 10X on the S23 Ultra. It is a massive, massive difference. And even looking just at photo quality, some of the 10X photo shots on the 5X camera look comparable to the S23 Ultra's 10X camera, but in low light, Apple's 5X lens wins by far. Now for number 10, the battery life got even better with the 15 Pro Max, even though Apple didn't mention any battery life gains. We've seen that across multiple battery life tests, with the 15 Pro Max getting even better and basically destroying every single Android mainstream flagship phone with the best battery life of all. Now for number 11, we have something really, really cool and unique where Apple is allowing you to record ProRes 4K 60 video to an external SSD by simply plugging it in to the USB-C port. And even better than that, they're actually allowing log video recording, which some people have posted on X, the quality of the log, and it looks absolutely insane. Almost like a real film camera. Absolutely killer dynamic range, and Android has none of that. They have none of those features, so iPhone definitely wins for video recording. For number 12, we have the titanium frame, which is very high quality and very unique because it's much more expensive than aluminum. And all the Android phones, basically all of them, are using aluminum frames. Now, Zach from Jerry Rig Everything was shocked that this is actually grade 5 aluminum and not grade 1 as he expected. He said that one bar of grade 2 costs $170, while at the same time, a bar of aluminum is only $10. And grade 5 titanium is even more expensive. He showed off a little thin sheet of grade 5, showing that it was insanely expensive. So Apple did a good job with this grade 5 titanium because it is definitely more resistant to scuffs and dents than aluminum. Now for reason number 13, we have portrait photos that can actually be taken without using portrait mode. You just take the photo and then go into the edit menu and you can add portrait mode and even change the focal point, which is absolutely mind-blowing. Now, some Androids can actually do this, enabling and disabling it, but they have no depth data information at all. So the quality actually turns out noticeably worse than using portrait mode, especially portraits on the iPhone 15 series. Just look at this example right here, where you can look along the stretch of the wall and you can see the amount of blur slowly increases as it gets further away. Android phones simply can't do this. They just have a whole block of the same depth blur behind the subject. Now for number 14, we have safety, with Apple being able to connect to satellites, saving people's lives already, and now they've just added roadside assistance for when you're stuck in your car, it broke down, you don't know what to do, you can now use the satellites for that. Plus, of course, they have other safety features like fall detection, crash detection. Androids don't have any of that. This is definitely the best phone for safety. And for number 15, we have a really cool new feature for the iPhones, which is contact posters. Now, when you call somebody, they're gonna see your contact poster like I've customized and made mine right here, which is a really unique and cool feature, which Androids simply don't have. You have like the little icon, the phone number, the name, whatever. This really makes the iPhone 15s unique, especially with this new app that I'm using, Contact Poster Pro, which lets you fully customize your contact poster with an image with really cool backgrounds where it automatically cuts you out. This is definitely a cool app, so anybody using iPhones, you should definitely check it out on the App Store. So there you guys go. Those were 15 reasons why the iPhone 15 Pro Max destroys Android. So let me know what you thought down in the comment section below. Subscribe above, check out those cases and accessories from JSOX. Check out one of those two videos right there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.